Hello everyone, this is another series in the AI in Trades podcast. Today I am with Steven. Steven is my friend. We work together in their project. I'm happy to have him today. He'll tell many things about how they are using AI and you will be impressed about the results. And welcome Steven.
Thank you.
Steven, can you just tell about yourself and Logan Services, what you do over there in general?
Sure. Yeah, I started in the trades 2016 and started off in new home construction. Worked my way into the office and did a couple things for logistics. I've also worked in the field as an installer, service tech, and helped manage both departments, sales department. And then 2 years ago, I joined Logan Services in an operations role for our Columbus department here, and decided that as we were working through some operations, there were some things operationally that we needed to adjust that involved technology. So I started jumping into it, just tackling things that we could make more efficient, build more secure reporting, and focus on things that as managers and leaders that we have to focus on. Part of my mindset is focus on things to make things more efficient so we can do what's important, which is spend our time training people, working with people, and including our customers, but primarily working with our individuals to advance them, make them better at what they do. Within the last 6 months, I actually got an offer through Logan Services to jump into a new role, Director of IT and Business Systems. And I was excited to take that on. I've always wanted to work in the technology industry. I was very thrilled and very happy and thankful to Logan Services for recognizing that out of me and giving me the opportunity to jump into it. And I'd be lying to you if I told you it hasn't been a ride so far. It's been a wild ride and a lot of fun too. We're getting a lot of stuff done with the use of technology, AI, and middleware, different various things. Yeah, that's mostly my journey so far in the HVAC industry and home service industry.
Yeah, this is a great journey. We also talked to Steven with their projects and we meet more than the podcast meeting. You told me that you hit record month last month. So what's driving that growth? How the technology affected this growth?
Well, there's a combination of things. Obviously, you can put people in seats and they can do things and it may or may not get better. But putting the right people in the right seats and then also giving them the right tools via technology and training courses and things of that nature, I think a lot of that. We have a really great team here overall and everyone works well together. And I think one of the biggest things is this is a large family owned and operated business. And so we have the flexibility to kind of do what we want whenever we want. And so when we have ideas that make sense, there's no long wait to just go ahead and do things. And so a big part of that, hence our meeting here, is to do with technology, tools, programming, and AI, of course. AI is kind of the new .com. It's the new internet. It's the new big thing, and it's been a huge help. Utilizing AI to expedite training, utilizing AI to help answer phone calls that we would have never gotten to begin with. I personally use AI often to help me quickly learn things that I need to know, whether it be programming, coding, building these reports that we've been working on together, and many other procedural updates that I've applied and worked with multiple team members to get implemented into our business. I'd say that's some of the big drivers. And then one of the big things is that I'm not a big reports guy, believe it or not. I'm not like the biggest fan of reports. I know how important they are, and I know they tell a story. So we do focus on them, and I do care about them. So I'd say that getting our reports accurate through the use of AI and reporting tools and things that we've been building, both with AI and just with our knowledge in the industry as a company, a lot of that contributes to the success. Because if you don't know where your weaknesses are through reporting, or if you can't trust the reporting and you can't trust the accuracy of the reporting, then you don't know where to shine the light and start making improvements as a business. And when you get so big, it makes it even more difficult because when something's broken or something's missing, you got a lot to fix. So I would say that's a big contributing factor. But I know one of the big things, one of the major outliers is where we started using like a call service, an AI call service that was very effective. we were missing a lot of calls. In Ohio, summertime is go time. That's the season. That's where you try to make it all happen because there's off seasons in this industry and a lot of it is weather dependent. And right now it's degrees outside, so that's prime time for us. During the summer, we struggle keeping up with the amount of calls and leads and everything coming into the company, and it's because you can't really hire around summertime. Otherwise, you struggle through the rest of the year finding stuff for people to do. AI answering and AI supported automations and processes that we've implemented have helped a lot with efficiency. They've helped a lot with capturing all of those calls. Quite frankly, a lot of our customer base, some of them still don't care for AI or technology and things, and so we still give them the option to go straight to a human. I think that's still important. As we talked previously, one of the main points here is our goal is not to use AI to replace people. I think most businesses can agree that would not be a good thing, especially if AI, technology has some problems here and there, which it does. Overall, I think that's the big contributing factor. The numbers don't lie, and our reports are now accurate thanks to a lot of your help and working with our team and getting that stuff set up. It's been really good for us. That's a lot of it.
Yeah, when we are talking AI in this industry, the voice agents are just coming at the first place. When what I hear from you, it just created so much value for you. So how's your pattern using AI? Is it the first call that's been handled by the AI, or is it just if all the members in your call center are just full and they will be actually routed to the AI? So how are you using these voice agents and how it's just making difference for you?
Yeah, well, there's a percentage that you can toggle. You can fluctuate that percentage based on what you want the AI to handle versus what you would like for the call center to handle. Mm-hmm. And then you can set up backups to, obviously, if the call center can't answer it, we'd rather AI answer it and take a chance and see if we can capture that call or capture that lead or that customer, because our goal is to help as many people as we can. And we're a business. We want to be profitable. We have to be profitable. And so the more we're able to do with AI, the more we can focus on enhancing, training our current individuals to handle customer escalations and various other features and problems that may come up that you need a human to intervene and kind of handle that carefully, because we do care about our customers and we want our customers to not ever feel like we're just throwing them to the robot void, is what I like to call it. But ultimately, it's made an impact. And again, you can toggle a lot of settings. If you work with the right partner, I think that's a huge thing too. There's a ton of third-party AI companies out there, or AI investments that you can make. And choosing the right one is also, I think, a really big, you can't just go with the first thing that sounds good. You got to take a chance. You got to work with them. You got to spend some time and really working with good people. And not to toot your horn while we're on here, but we've thoroughly enjoyed working with you and everything that you've shown us. Finding the right partner, I'd say, is just as important as setting up the AI and using AI in general, because even with AI, it's not like it's just all automatic. It doesn't just magically set itself up and get configured and make tweaks over time. I'm sure maybe at some point that's a thing, but we're not there yet. And so there's still a lot that goes into this. You still need good people that really understand how AI works and how to set the guardrails, how to put everything in place for it to start doing the magic, or what everybody thinks is the magic.
Yeah, and so this is not your first vendor for the voice agents, I think, right? So, for example, what's the bad one and what's the good one?
I would say that the big determining factor there is a lot of people want to go for the most cost effective. And sometimes I get that, and sometimes that is the answer, but sometimes you get what you pay for, right? Like that saying has always been a masterclass in my books. You pay a little more, you get a better service, you get a better agent, you get somebody who knows the service a little better. And one of the things that really stands out with the current agent that we're using now and the current third-party company that we're utilizing now is that not only are they truly professionals and they're really good at what they do, but they are also very customizable. That was something that we were lacking in the first AI answering service. It was like a one-size-fits-all companies, and most people who work in this industry know that bulk of the home service companies all use ServiceTitan. But there's a reason that we still have our own things that separate us as a business as far as what separates us from others. and how we decide to impact our customers with those best practices. So with that, there's a lot of little custom things that a one-size-fits-all AI voice agent can't necessarily capture or handle for us. So it did help us, the first one we used. It helped us a little bit, but it wasn't dramatic enough for us to be like, oh, this is really cool, we want to keep this, we want to continue. So we had to go back to the drawing board, and we started with a new one, gave it a shot, per some recommendations, and so far it's been fantastic. And they have a whole reporting dashboard that shows all of their metrics and what they're able to do for us, and that builds a lot of value and trust. And so again, having that partner that cares enough to add in little features that we're like, hey, it'd be really cool if we could do X, Y, Z. And they're like, yeah, no problem. And then they get back to us 2 days later, and next thing you know, they're helping us out with that area that they didn't originally intend on helping us with. So again, that would be the thing that stands out to me. And we hope that they're the final stop, but if we experience where it's not working out anymore, we'll look for the next thing, or maybe even tackle it ourselves if we feel like we're able to.
Yeah, nice. So you just initially told that you are not just replacing people, but using AI as the tool. But what were you doing in your peak time when the AI was not there? And also, did the AI help you create jobs instead of make people lose their jobs?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So, well, I can tell you from experience, having worked in a few call center scenarios in the past, not so much with Logan, but having worked on phones before and talking to customers all day, the end result there is when you don't have the AI to assist you, you're missing out on calls that are coming through. And how we used to handle that was just either hire more people or hire a couple interns through certain peak seasons and just do our best to get to everybody, or as many people as we could. As you get bigger and as people recognize your brand more, that percentage starts to increase on the call volume that you're missing because you have more people calling. And we don't necessarily, I can speak for Logan Services because I've worked here now and I've been a part of all the different aspects of this company and seen a lot of things. There's a ton of great people here. And I'd say that one of the things that really stands out here is they truly care about quality over quantity. And so we have an apprenticeship program, and this is for all of our field techs, and from sales to install to service, you name it. Our apprenticeship program is very fine-tuned. We have very good people running it and managing it, training our individuals. And so with that being said, we refuse to sacrifice the quality for quantity. So when we're missing those calls, it's generally because we don't have enough people, and we never would have enough people to answer all of the demand that's coming in. And again, AI is helping us with that. And so it creates jobs, to answer your question, it creates jobs in different areas of the company, but it doesn't eliminate any jobs in the areas that people would think it does. So like our call center, again, regardless of what the situation is, if somebody calls in and says, I want to speak to a person, absolutely, we'll get you over to a person. We're not going to argue that. We're not going to try to force people to use AI if they're not comfortable with it. But again, if we're able to answer 15% more calls than we did last year because the new AI software we're using is helping us reach those calls, now we have more calls on the board. Now we need more technicians. Now we need more installers. Now we need more plumbers and eventually electricians when we open that branch. You need more support staff. We have coordinators for all those departments I just listed. So as those numbers increase, our coordinators are going to have to increase because a lot of the things they do are very manual driven. A lot of it's hard to automate or hard to involve AI in because there's so many gray areas that, as you and I both know, you have to code the gray area in to make it black and white for AI to be able to decipher and for automations to be able to work as smoothly as they should. It creates jobs in a lot of areas, and then it eliminates the need for scaling your employee base in a call center, for example. We would rather have a small, tight-knit team that's really good at what they do than just consistently throwing people at the problem when we have tools that help us with those problems. So
it's more like creating jobs for you. So actually, I also heard from a few companies where they actually couldn't hire some marketing department, so they were not as big as you, but they use AI for them, so they actually fill some gaps, and then they eventually grow more and then hire more people. So it's also other effect that maybe just AI may just make our economy bigger. So beyond this, how is your automation workflows? What are you automating in your company? What kind of tools are you using? Is it more like the generic AI tools? Do you also use more specific ones?
Sure, yeah. We're using a series of software, and our goal is to actually start slimming some of that down and combining things that overlap with what they're able to accomplish. I could give some examples, but it's kind of boring. And what I'll get into here is the automations are more so procedural focused as well as accuracy focused. And then I would also say one of the big things is with any business and any industry is communication focused. One thing that I think every company I've worked for, it's not that they're imperfect or they're not good at it. It's just that some areas are lacking proper communication, or I guess speedy communication would be a better way to put that, right? So when something happens, usually you got to notify XYZ amount of people or a person or whomever. A lot of times we can identify that when something happens in ServiceTitan or something happens in a different platform that we're using, we can capture that electronically and then send off that communication through a middleware like N8N or Make or Zapier, really you name it. And there's a lot of different AI tools that are combined with all of those platforms I just named off. So AI is not really leaving the picture anytime soon that I can see. And so as a company, we're getting with the program rather than getting left behind. And a lot of times from start to finish, for example, some of the larger automations we've done are things like automating our payroll or firing off communications to large teams of people when something happens. For example, if ServiceTitan goes down, it used to be me or one of our IT gentlemen or ladies writing out an email, and it doesn't take like all that long, a couple 5 to 10 minutes to write out a nice detailed and make sure you tag everybody and all that. And so I guess to help answer that question, it's not that we don't want to do that, it's just that we don't know exactly when it happens until those things come up. And so one of the things we've done is we've tied into the status report pages of a lot of the software that we're in. And so like when it goes down, it sends a communication to our entire staff that it may affect. That's another one that we've done a couple of them, but we're working on full circle getting all the software we use tied into that. That way we're ahead of the game. We're not waiting for tickets to come in from our staff or our customers or whomever to our IT team. We're trying to send out a communication saying, because what happens when all those tickets come in, right? Now our IT team's overwhelmed with trying to figure out, okay, here's the pattern here, here's what's going on with this one, oh, these are all the same. If we can get ahead of stuff like that, it not only it saves us time, but it gives our staff and our personnel the ability to roll back to a more of a manual setup, and we can start focusing on, okay, everybody needs to pitch in and help out with this because this is happening. You always go back to your roots if you have to. We try to stay away from pen and paper, but it is the king for a reason. It doesn't have glitches.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really cool to have automations, workflows that really impact things like that. And right now we're working on this fall, we have it scheduled for this fall, working on onboarding our employees. That's a really big one. It takes a lot of time. Set up devices, get them logged into everything, get their accounts all set up, permissions set. That's a very manual process, and our IT guy, he's something else, man. He's really good at what he does. Very efficient, and I've sat with him. He's trained me on a lot of things. I've worked with him and taught him what I can, and so like we work together pretty well. But start to finish, it takes anywhere from 1 to 4 hours to onboard somebody, each individual. And when you work in the trades, we're hiring a ton of people before peak season. We hired a ton of people between, I want to say February and May. We couldn't even keep our heads above water trying to onboard all these people, and great people. We got to meet every single one of them. That's part of our onboarding process, but it's a lot of work. It's easy to fall behind if you're not on top of it. We're looking into automating that next, and that's a massive project for us, but a very needed project because, again, it's going to increase our efficiency in the IT department, and I'm sure all the other departments that are involved with onboarding. So that's something else we're working towards.
Got it. You also told me before that everybody is using ServiceTitan differently. You call it the workarounds. When you have a tool, the out of the shelf, how does it fit in that scenario then? If you're using it not in a regular way, for example, one of the things that I was also just experiencing is the reporting. that I was helping to companies. Initially, I thought that, okay, I can create the reporting templates and it will work for everybody. It didn't work at all.
That's a good one. So ServiceTitan has what I like to call an intended best practice or an intended best use, right? ServiceTitan's good at what they do, and granted, we talk some smack about them sometimes with certain features, but I would say overall, ServiceTitan's a really good platform, and it is very customizable because there's so many areas of ServiceTitan that you can jump into, navigate, customize, and do different things with. However, when a company has best practices that it thinks is superior to what ServiceTitan has in place for its entire customer base, like you said, you got to find a workaround. You got to figure out, okay, how do we do this the way we want to do it, but still using ServiceTitan as our main platform for all of our guys to communicate in the field, assign them jobs, and make sure that they're being taken care of and being efficient with their day. So yeah, the workaround, it's a combination of pulling and extracting that data out of ServiceTitan, as me and you've worked on many times, manipulating it through whether it be code, having AI help us with manipulating that data through formulas, many different languages in the coding industry and coding world, and then formatting it the way we want to see it. Because again, everybody has their own vision of what success is, and that's completely opinion based in a lot of ways. Nor their reporting nor any other platform is a one size fits all. That's not real. In my opinion, that's not a real thing, right? We like the idea of having the flexibility to be extremely custom and do exactly what we're looking for, right? So some of the reports that we worked on, we had to extract, and there's certain limitations in ServiceTitan that don't allow us to naturally be able to pull a report from the reporting database. I think they're working on stuff like this right now because they know it's a weakness. As a matter of fact, I had a call yesterday with our ServiceTitan rep, and he literally said that's something that they're definitely working on because they want to help their customers. And so that'll be great, but even then, I don't know that they're going to hit everybody's niche and everybody's personalized requests and needs, right? Yeah, the workaround is we take the data out of ServiceTitan, whether it be through API, certain integrations, or manually pulling reports and uploading them into databases ourselves. Like we've done that for a long time as a company. The goal is again to pull that data out, manipulate it however we want. For a long time, our company has used Excel sheets and a lot of other different metrics, and they're I don't know. I look at it and I'm just like, I don't know how you guys did this for so long. This is crazy, and it's so good for an Excel sheet. These are great. But there's got to be a better way, and a more efficient way, a more live way to look at this data. And introduction to Mustafa here, he led the way on showing us that and helping us out with that, and it's been great for us. And so far, our conversations, I know that you've been impressed, and I do appreciate the compliments, and I'm sure our team does too. But even further, our personal staff, our operations managers, our service managers, everybody who's looking now at these dashboards that we've created through Peaka and through other means, they're very impressed and they're happy to look at it because our philosophy here is similar to the iPhone. Keep it simple for the user. We do all the hard stuff on the back end. And quite frankly, at this point, AI is doing a lot of the hard stuff for us. We just have to put it into words to be able to help us get there. And that part is hard in itself sometimes, but we're just getting better every day. It's a new skill. It's like learning a new skill, really. Instead of learning how to code and develop, you have to learn how to talk to AI and hold its hand through every little detail. But again, it's a lot more efficient than subbing it out to a third-party company that takes up to 1 to 2 years to program all of this stuff for you, and using things like Power BI and things that are natively, they're really good, but there's a lot of cost, there's a lot of setup, there's a lot of headaches with people who don't understand your data. They don't understand what you're trying to accomplish, and a lot of it has to do with communication, right?
Yes.
Our leadership team are not programmers by nature, so they don't know how to speak to a programmer. And then vice versa, programmers don't necessarily know how to run an HVAC company. It's not a personal dig at anybody. It'd be like me trying to speak Chinese to you. I don't know if you speak Chinese, but there's a conflict there if you don't. And so that's the analogy I like to use. It's like speaking 2 different languages and you don't get anywhere.
Yeah, got it. Thank you for the compliments and the feedback. So let's just jump into the customer side. You are using AI, but also customers are using AI too. maybe 3-4 years ago, they were just going to the search engine and searching for the HVAC company in Columbus, or maybe they're just searching for best HVAC company in Columbus. Now they're just asking those kind of questions to the AI instead of search engines. How do things change for you? You are getting more leads, or just your leads are actually going down? And what are you doing for this part?
Sure. So I can't speak directly for every little detail to marketing. I'm not a specialist in that area. I've been working with our marketing team more lately, but it's primarily focused on AI and focused on automations that we can do to enhance our SEO and our conversion scores with those leads as they come in. So to answer your question, I think most companies that are already using AI have started to tap into how do we market in AI? That's a really cool thing. A lot of people are using it, especially the younger generations are using it the most, I would have to say overall, but that's a hard generation to capture right now because they're all over the place, and social media, and obviously we've tapped into social media a lot where we get a lot of them, but Google and Google optimizations that we've made have helped tremendously through automations primarily, but we've also tapped into, there's ad spend you can use with all the different AI platforms, at least the main ones that offer it. And again, I couldn't speak to the details and how to get that all configured, but our marketing team does, and I know that they're good at what they do, and they definitely pry on that because I wouldn't say that it's a major increase right now because I think that's a little bit newer in the AI marketing world, if you will, but it's definitely something that we're acquiring leads from, and I would say we're getting, it's fair. It's fair for what we're spending on it at the moment. I wouldn't say it's everybody needs to drop what they're doing and go do it now. But I think eventually over time, like over maybe the next 3 to 5 years, as more and more people start to understand and start to get comfortable using AI, it's definitely going to be the go-to because it's like a, we talked about this, right? AI is like a kindergartner who knows all, right? And everyone goes to it and they utilize it for a lot of things, right? Like you can look up anything from, hey, there's this thing going on with my dog, to, hey, which HVAC company should I use to fix my HVAC unit based on ratings, or you can get very granular as far as your personal wish list for a company that's going to come out to your house. And a lot of that boils down to trust, good reviews. I know a lot of people use reviews as their determining factor nowadays because everything's online. And you can post your reviews everywhere and blow them up, and absolutely you should do that. We do that. Everyone should do that. I think most people do at this point, but businesses anyhow. But yeah, no, it's been a fun journey, and like I said, our IT guy, his name is Jimmy, he gave me the best analogy for that. That was the kindergarten quote. He said, AI is kind of like a grandmaster chess player, but also a kindergartner at the same time. And in the sense that it will answer your questions and it will help you with all these different things, and it'll be very accurate if you ask the right questions and you use the right words. But if you leave out details, it will also leave out some of the things that you were maybe expecting it to do, or it'll go a whole entire different route because you didn't clarify one very important detail that it knows based on doing research and looking at the internet and databases and forums and everything that it's scanning when it's trying to answer a question that's not publicly available directly on some kind of, I don't know, some kind of database where it might just be like, here's 100% the answer. That's what's good about it, is it's very good when you give it the right question and use the right words. If you give it a vague answer or a vague question, you're going to get a very vague answer and it might not be what you're looking for, and then your opinion of AI will be a little skewed at that point if you don't really understand it that much. So
yeah, and also some guests that I had before, one of the customer asked questions. They were in the garage door business, and so they asked for a door, and it's actually that's not existed, but they asked for it because the AI just suggested that. So it just ended up building a very expensive custom door, and the customer actually didn't follow their suggestions and follow the AI suggestions. Are there these kind of misleading, so that makes your job more challenging and harder? Does it make it easier for you so the customers are trained?
I wouldn't say that it makes it much. It's just a different way of learning customers. Again, like to your point, customers will call in and say, hey, I looked this up and I seen that this and this is happening because my system's doing this. And quite frankly, not to say that the AI is wrong, but it doesn't know because it's not physically there, which is the same answer we're going to give, right? We don't know until we send someone out because it's really, there's so many different symptoms. For example, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical systems, that a trained technician with even 2 to 5 years of experience or more is trained to go out there and do step by step with a series of tools. Their AIs, you can't just say, oh, my air conditioner is not cooling, what's the problem? That's not going to help. And a lot of customers, to be fair, we don't expect them to know. We don't expect them to just be able to understand that's the case. They're not HVAC professionals or they wouldn't be calling us, right? So we do have a way of handling those situations. I don't know that it's any more hard. I would say that it's just a new obstacle that we have to overcome. And our call center, especially like the leadership team and our call center reps, like we hire really good people. Again, around good people, hire good people, let them do a good job. That's our motto here. But with that being said, our call center leadership, they know about that. We've already had meetings and talked about these things, and they've come up with solutions pretty quick and different things to say, like different call scripts and different things for our call center reps and the AI agent that we're using. Those guardrails are put in place for that as well. To just point the customer back to, we don't have a crystal ball, neither does AI. We don't know what's wrong with the system until we get somebody out there, but we do know a couple things. We have a couple things we can tell people. For example, if somebody calls and they're like, hey, my AC's freezing up, or my coil's freezing up. It depends on the situation. If it's a new customer, of course we want to send a tech out there. But if it's someone that we just did an install for 2 to 3 months ago, this is like $1 million piece of advice here. If we just installed new equipment 2 to 3 months ago and somebody calls in, they're like, hey, my new system's freezing up. It's like, okay, when's the last time you changed the filter? That's a question it's a very common question. It's a very common issue where people just forget. It's not that they mean to, they just forget. I'm guilty myself and I do this for a living. But it's just one of those things that we have a lot of different scripts for different questions and different answers for whatever the customer might bring up. And we try to combat that with kindness and explanation and try to get somebody out there to help solve that problem if they're not able to directly themselves over the phone with the minimal things that we're able to walk them through on the phone.
Got it. We are just coming to the end of our talk. I want to ask, what are you using your daily AI out of the business, the tools that you like and want to just suggest to our listeners? And also, what's your expectation for the AI in the maybe long-term, short-term?
So as far as tools go, I'm really liking the Claude setup that you have helped us get set up. It's so customizable, and the initial setup was a struggle. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. There's a lot that goes into the setup, but once it's done and once it's set up and then once you've spent a little time with it, it's like anything else. I just talked to my dad last night and I was telling him that we were talking about AI because he was like, man, I really want to get into the stock market game with AI. Is that something you could help me with? And I was like, absolutely. I just don't know that it would be something that I'd like to sit down with you. And he's, I don't know. I don't want to learn it. And I told him, he used to tell me all the time that you can do anything you put your mind to. You just have to put in the work and be motivated and be dedicated to what you're doing. So the advice I have is don't be afraid of it, embrace it, learn it, because if you don't, then you're going to fall behind to a degree. Some people can ignore it and live out in the woods their whole entire life and be perfectly happy, and that's okay. But in the business world here, it's not this big bad thing. I think it's like a personal tutor, a personal instructor. It can teach you so many different things in such a short period of time. So, my two favorites as far as AI goes so far, actually I have three, but I use them for different things because AIs are trained by people ultimately, and they're built by people. And the primary one that I actually the most is OpenAI or ChatGPT, and I use it mostly as a tool to help with a lot of my automations that I'm building and also to streamline projects like large migration projects and things. You'd be amazed at some of the things that I was able to accomplish before I met you using ChatGPT or Claude. I've tried a couple times before I met you, but then when we started talking, started getting a lot more heavy on the Claude side because it was really cool how we got it all configured with the MCP servers and the utilization of connecting Peaka to ServiceTitan and all these different things. So that one's now in my top 3. And then the last one is actually Grok, and it's because Grok is very sociable, a very social AI. It's because the tech giant Elon Musk, he decided to tie it into to X, formerly Twitter. And so because it's tied into there, it interacts with people much more frequently all across his platform compared to the other 2 AIs that I've listed here. So it's a lot better at social skills as far as I'm concerned, and it's crazy like what you can train a different agent to be specialized in. And so, but again, we're using it as a tool more than anything. There's very few parts of our business where we don't yet feel comfortable to inject AI directly into the business, because that can go south, I think, pretty quick. But we definitely utilize it a ton outside of the business for the business as a tool. The future of it, there will likely be, this is purely my opinion, there will likely be AI agents in the future that can replace certain aspects of a business, but I don't know how far out that is, and I don't know that most businesses are willing to take that risk anytime soon. And I don't really advise it directly, right? There's certain circumstances where, for example, sometimes we have trouble hiring certain positions in the company, and it's not because we're within range of the rest of the market and our ranges for pay and everything else. It's not really that. It's just that a lot of people that don't want to do like a manual tedious task, that would be a best case use for AI to jump in and execute those things, and more in an automated way. So like, again, using AI to program software and do different things to accomplish a streamlined approach. It's not like giving AI sentiment. With the call center and stuff, there's AI sentiment. So it's using judgment based on different answers and different questions and various different things to prompt to the next response it's going to give the customer, right? But using it as a tool to develop software and to do different things is where I personally think it shines the most, because that's isolated. It's not AI directly. You're just using AI to help you get there and not have to lean on 10,000 different third-party companies that want to milk you for everything you got. And so I know that's kind of blunt, but it is also somewhat the truth, and it's nothing against them. Everybody's out here trying to do their best to be profitable and to make a business and make a name for themselves. But if you can do it for yourself for a fraction of the cost and utilize a handful of companies, like we've thoroughly enjoyed using your software and using your company and your brain, you've helped us a lot just personally and spent a lot of personal time, so we appreciate that too.
Thank you.
But we'd rather be with less than more and get more out of less, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you, Steven. But I also want to just, for example, where do you see Logan with the AI in 5 years from now on? I know it's very hard to just predict those kind of things with the all crazy growth of AI, but maybe you may just have some ideas and opinion shortly.
I think in 5 years, I think we're already ahead of the game in most areas. I couldn't put a number to whether we are or not, but I do feel like even if we're not, we're on the right path to get there faster than most other companies, in my opinion, right? Like, I'm directly working on all these things with a team of people, a smaller team of people, but we're working on all these things collectively, and the path that we're currently going, I feel that it's just going to keep getting better and better to the point to where we're able to expand and grow into different markets that would have taken a much longer time to be able to do that. To answer your question, I think that the AI is helping us be more efficient, get to more customers, the ability to hire more people, and then again, if we automate out all the noise, right? I call the noise all the manual data entry and the tasks and different things, but we automate a lot of that away. So the people that we have in place now and future people that we hire for these roles can train and focus on our people skills and focus on our technical abilities and our installations being top of the line like they always are. Focusing on expanding into other markets, helping more people. We're fairly priced as a business compared to a lot that I've both worked for and seen out in public. I'm a consumer at the end of the day. I live in a home that I don't know how to do certain things, and I see companies come in, I see them do shoddy work, and I call them out on it and all these different things. But, I would say that we are definitely working towards being the top home service company in the entire nation. That's our goal as a company. We talk about it in every leadership meeting we have. And I'm not going to say AI is the only ticket to get us there, but it's certainly helping us get there a lot faster. So that would be my answer to that. But yeah, it is really hard to predict where we'll be in 5 years. So
yeah, thank you, Stu. It was a great conversation. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and also I got so many insights, and hopefully other people will benefit from it. Thank you today for joining my podcast.
Absolutely, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, Mustafa.
Have a nice day.
You too.